Welcome to an episode of Founder in the Chair. I'm your host, Veena, and today my guest is the founder of a revolutionary business platform, Tape UK, and a multiple award winner who last year claimed Entrepreneur of the Year 2024, defeating none other than Gymshark's Ben Francis MBE. From surviving on free school meals to building a business that now serves small businesses nationwide with an incredible 99% retention rate, he has proven that purpose-driven entrepreneurship isn't just possible, it's profitable. His TED Talk, Leaders of Tomorrow, placed him alongside global thought leaders including Simon Sinek, Bill Gates and Mel Robbins. And what makes his journey even more remarkable is how he built Tape UK. No partners, no outside investment, grown entirely organically while dedicating 1% of client fees to charity. Through his company, he has already funded 4 clean water projects and tree planting initiatives, a testament that business success and social impact can go hand in hand. He's also a sought-after speaker, mentor and advocate who believes true leadership isn't about titles, it's about lifting others and inspiring them to create meaningful change. Today, he's followed by political leaders, celebrities and influencers worldwide, all turning to him for his refreshing openness, inclusive political commentary and inspiring messages that both educate and elevate. Please join me in welcoming someone who's redefining what it means to be a successful entrepreneur in the 21st century. Welcome, Imran Savas. Welcome.
How are you?
I'm so excited to finally meet you.
Ditto. It's been a long time coming, hasn't it?
The one person who's just like that replies on Instagram.
Yeah?
I'm so impressed. First I was like, he's got really big following, so he's probably got a team that replies.
Yeah.
But it was you.
Yeah, I always reply to every message and people find that amazing and like it might not be instantly, but when I do have the opportunity and time, I'll always reply because I've been on the other side where you sort of reach out to people
Yeah.
and you just do not reply and you're just like I don't know, it's like it's giving someone that moment like I'm nothing, but at the same time to someone on the outside, they might think like there's some I don't know, some celebrity or influence or whatever. So
I
it's
felt
just
like that. I was like, wow, you've replied. And then I sent another message and you replied.
yeah.
And then I confirmed you were coming yesterday and you
Yeah.
replied. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's really nice. It's really refreshing.
Yeah, and I never miss a meeting or anything. So if I say I'm going to be there, 100% I'll be there.
And you're early. You were early today.
I'm always on time. Always. It's pattern building, but also it's the most precious thing you can give someone is your time. So I feel like if you're late or you're not taking it seriously, you're literally wasting someone's life, and it's not fair. So you can't get
It's a
the
bit
time back.
disrespectful as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And especially like I've come from a brown culture and there's a lot of lateness and slow replying and you're just on edge.
Yeah.
And it's something that we have to develop to be taken seriously. So, but again, it starts with us, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's like they're almost proud of it. It's Indian timekeeping. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, what does that mean? 2 hours later and you think that's okay. But it's like, yeah, I'll be done. We'll be done. Don't worry about it. Yeah, when? It'll be done.
But that's why I feel like, especially in the world of business, we can do better. You see it now in the current climate where there isn't many successful brown businesses that have gone to huge levels, and I think it's because of that, where we still have that stigma where we're not taking it seriously and people aren't taking us seriously sometimes. It's like the old analogy of like bringing the Asian plumber in comparison to the English plumber. You just feel like the Asian plumber is going to be cheaper, but you're not fully satisfied with the job, even though they could be amazing. But you know, if you pay the English plumber, it's going to be done correctly.
And on time.
And on time. So it's something we need to build on, all of us.
Timekeeping.
Timekeeping and being true to our word. I think that's where we need to all improve on, isn't it? So, but again, like I was saying at the start, it starts with us. So we have to take that accountability and do it ourselves rather than judging others.
So now everyone's going to be sending you messages on Instagram because he replies.
Possibly, yeah. But yeah.
So Imran, you went from surviving on free school meals to defeating established entrepreneurs like Gymshark's Ben Francis. For ethnic business owners who are listening, which a lot of my listeners are, who face similar systematic barriers, what are the unspoken challenges they're up against and what practical steps can they start taking?
You have one life. That's always been my mentality. You're going to lose money and you're going to die. So they're the two guarantees in this world. So for me, I think it's just accepting that death is going to come, but how do you want to go out? So a lot of us are in the mindset of the material things. They think
Mm,
success is potentially buying a bag, buying a house, but they're not thinking of the long term, like how they've utilized their soul and its spirit and its creativity and the feeling you have inside of wanting to make a change. Because I feel that we all get very comfy because we're scared to do things.
mm,
But I feel we need to just think to ourselves like, do I want to be happy? Or do I want to just go to work 9 to 5 and just feel like you could give more? You could give more to this world. And I know we always choose the safe route because that's human nature and that
mm,
just comes from us being scared. But I feel like we need to overcome those fears and we have to take the responsibility, especially for the next generation.
mm,
Because if they don't see brown women and men like ourselves doing something and doing something different
mm,
in comparison to being an engineer, a doctor, a solicitor, accountant, whatever, because
mm,
these are the safe roles that our parents wanted us to go into because
mm.
they just want us to be safe. I
Yeah.
don't think they're necessarily um, bothered about the actual field itself. It's more a case of they just feel if you go into this, you're going to be paid X amount, and with that, it benefits your survival basically.
Yeah.
But I think what we're missing and what we've been missing for many years is happiness. I think people have lost track of that. What makes them happy?
Mm,
They measure it in terms of scale of income, but that's not happiness at all because you see some people they dream about having the big house, the swimming pool, the Lamborghini outside,
mm,
etc. But once they hit that, the dopamine's very short term. After a few days, they'll be now what?
mm,
And I think with all of us, we must have that journey and purpose because without purpose, we just go through life and unfortunately we die and we just become part of the cycle again. But I think that we have to utilize our time to leave a legacy.
mm,
And legacy doesn't have to be huge where it's like you want to get to the legacy of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. It's a legacy amongst your community, amongst your family, and what message you left. How did you leave them feeling? And even through your work, like even being a hairdresser of 20, 30 years serving a community, there'll come a point when you stop cutting hair and people will miss you and they'll
mm,
talk about you in a fond way. And I think that's what we need to aim towards, all of us, where we're serving people, we're serving communities and doing our best. And I do believe that you see it with family members, such as we'll use the grandparents as an example.
mm,
They have a purpose, even if they stay at home they're preparing the meals, they're cleaning the house, they have
mm,
that purpose. But once the kids grow up and aren't dependent on them, they start to decline.
mm,
So every human has needs a purpose,
mm,
and they have it inside of them. But I just feel we have to overcome those traumas and that sense of fear, where we just need to say, you know what, let's just go for it. If we fail, we fail, but at least we can pick ourselves up and go again. Because if you have your health, you can do anything.
mm. So learn the lesson from it and take that step.
Yeah, I think the step's always there to be taken because but it has to start today because the fire will soon change. So the fire you have today, you could be sitting on the couch where you just feel like you have this amazing business idea,
Mm,
but you're not going for it. You're just waiting for a perfect time, a perfect moment. And that's life. It's not going to happen. There's never a right time to get married, never a right time to have kids, never a right
mm.
time to start a business, never a right time to die.
Yeah.
So you just have to
Yeah.
come to that conclusion where I haven't potentially got next week. So why don't I just do it today? Why don't I find my happiness today? Why don't you start taking those small steps and making something happen? Because you might not see the rewards today, but
Mm,
you might see them in a month or two where all of a sudden you start to see that dream come to fruition. But again, it comes from just overcoming the thought process of fear. And I think fear is thinking what other people think of you. You don't want to seem like a failure to them.
mm.
But that's where you need to find happiness from inside, where you know you're confident and happy with yourself, that you don't care what people think about you. Because people always judge. You can be perfect and they'll still say you're wrong. So this is the life.
Absolutely,
This is the
yeah.
life. So you just
Yeah.
have to get to a position mentally and even physically, like make sure you look after yourself, like because there's two organs we need to protect, and that's our brain and our hearts. So the heart can become damaged from outside. You could be with people that are very negative, that want to dictate your life. They think they might mean well for you, but the
Mm,
reality is they're damaging you. Even with your ears, like if you put so much pain and negativity into your ears, it's going to damage your brain. The
mm,
rewiring will go all over the place, and you'll start to feel like worthless and you can't do much. But it's just fixing yourself inside and then coming to a conclusion that who cares what they think? Because in a few months' time, they'll be clapping for you, or they'll still have an opinion,
mm,
but because you care about them and you, dare I say, respect them, I'll talk about family members here,
mm,
they just, they will just come from a place of resentment because they didn't go for it. So why don't you just go for it? Because there's nothing to lose.
mm.
And you have to take that responsibility to think about the next generation. And I think that's my mindset. I'm like, all the work I do today, I don't really talk about myself, but I let my work do the talking.
Mm.
But and then I use platforms such as this to encourage people to do even better than me, because I was willing to take the risk and willing to put myself out there
Mm.
because for the benefit of others.
I love that. And exactly what you said. We worry so much about what other people will say. And just because of that, we just don't even take the first step.
Yeah, and I think it's something that only you feel comfortable. It's like, for instance, we'll use hair as an example.
Mm.
You've decided to do your hair in this way because it makes you feel good and confident. But someone else might have an opinion of your hair, but you know, you can
Mm.
feel it inside that you feel great, like
Mm.
I'm ready to go for the day.
Yeah.
And you've gone through a position now where you didn't care what the next person says
Yeah. Yeah.
because you know you look good.
Yeah.
So I think it's just having that mindset of training your brain to do things correctly from your soul, because there's going to be so many people that are doing the same thing in your industry. But like I say to people, just go to Tesco or Aldi or Asda, go to the bread aisle. It all looks the same.
Mm.
But the reality is people are going to pick their favorites regardless of what they look like. It's just the way it is. If they like Hovis, they're going to go for Hovis. If they like
Yeah.
Jason's, they're going to go for Jason's,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
So this is live. So it's always going to be saturated,
Yeah.
but you just have to put yourself into it so much so that no one can have your personality or your values or your beliefs.
So, what do you think about? So, these days it's a lot about social proof. What your following is on social media, how much you show up, your videos, your reels, your views, your likes. And people are so consumed with that now as well. So sometimes some people don't even start because they're like, oh, but they're doing so well. Look at them. Oh, her life looks so perfect. Or he's so lucky he's got this. And that's it. You get imposter syndrome. What would you say to somebody who's listening and they're like, well, it's all right for Imran, it's all right for Veena.
But that just comes from, again, being in an environment where they haven't got that sense of happiness or purpose yet. And it can change, because
Mm,
if you're just watching people and watching how social media is playing out, you won't find happiness. So it
mm,
comes back to gratitude and appreciation. So example being is, if you have your health, you have somewhere to live, you have food and water, you're good. Foundations are laid.
mm,
And then, of course, the next foundation would be having people around you, such as your family or your friends, who, it doesn't have to be hundreds of people, but it could be one or two that you know, if there's a good time in your life, you're going to call them. If there's a bad time in your life, you're going to call them.
mm,
So they're rare, because people just think like when it comes to family, you're going to have 30 people turning up, but it doesn't work like that. You'll make that one call.
mm,
So then all of a sudden, the house starts to take shape. Foundations are laid with the appreciation of having the basics of what humans need. And then after that, you had the layer in terms of having that community and people around you that are good for you.
mm,
But I think once you start to add negativity and darkness into that, the water starts to become destroyed, because the water is pure and clear. And then when you start to dilute it with rubbish, all of a sudden you rewind yourself into a negative way. And I think that once you have those bases in place, then you can just go for it. Because the reality is that a lot of these people that are, how do I say, building their social media and trying to build a personal brand, it might not be real. And why would you look up to them? Because humans are always going to let you down. We're not perfect. No one's perfect. So there's always going to be flaws in humanity. So we have to accept that. So never look to another person. Like even myself, I don't look up to anyone. I don't look up to any leaders, any business owners for inspiration. I just talk to people and mix with people that are in my life, whether it be clients, whether it be community, friends, family. And with that, you learn. You learn about the mindset of people, and you know who's good and who's not. Because humans, we know right from wrong. So, so yeah, I just think like the reality is you need to fix yourself rather than looking at anyone else. Because social media is not all negative. There is positive there, but it depends on who you're following.
Yeah.
If those people aren't right for you, even if they're friends or family, you just have to unfollow them. And that's the beauty of social media. You
Yeah.
can block them and report them and do
Yeah.
the rest.
Well, I don't know if you're reporting family as well.
No, but if it's not good for you,
Yeah.
I think like it's good to have a detox
Yeah.
because it's not, if it doesn't benefit you today, why would you want to utilize your time with such pain and negativity that's only going to ruin your day? Because there's a lot of trigger points, especially with families. They can sometimes bring out, because sometimes families think you haven't grown from the person you were when you were 6 years old. They still think you're like this is your
Yeah.
personality trait. But
Yeah.
the reality is you're 40, 50, and all of a sudden you're like, they still treat me like I've still got this trait. But
Yeah.
the reality is I've matured and developed.
Yeah. 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 You're so right. Especially like your aunties and uncles, and they're still talking to you like you're like 6, as you said, and you're just like, yeah, I'm 50 odd years old now.
Yeah, and also they've come from a different time scale. Even like when people bring up the current cost of living crisis, the goalposts were always there. They'll always just move them. So when parents or grandparents were growing up and coming over to the UK example, they had it so hard, but they forgot the pain they went through. They just see the success. It's like even myself, when people say, "Oh, Imran, you're successful. You've done this," but they haven't seen the journey. Like I was saying to the colleague outside, I said, "I've been working for straight 9 weeks now." And people look at me, you're like, you look great. It's because I'm doing what I enjoy doing. And that's why I can work every day. It's fine. And I'll have the vacation when I've earned it, and I haven't earned it yet. So, so with that, they've come from a period of difficulty, but they feel like you're not trying as hard as them, or you haven't done it the way they did it. But they couldn't do it the way we do it today. It's impossible.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to cope with it all.
Yeah.
And that's why I say to older business owners when they talk about the same metrics of how to have a successful business, I say it's a completely different landscape now. Now you can have a great restaurant, but you have to still pull them in. You have to entice them to come in. They're not
Yeah.
going to just walk past
Yeah.
and just going by chance now.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have to make sure they've reviewed it, they've checked it. Does it look great? Is it appealing? They want to hear the next person say this pasta's amazing, and then they'll go and try it. It's crazy,
And you've
but
got to show up on social media with your amazing pasta and
exactly.
get people in to review it. Yeah, it's completely different now.
It's completely different, but also the positive of what you just said there is you have to shout about yourself. And also it trains you as well to start to appreciate who you are. Because sometimes from the outside we can have all the plaudits, but inside we don't feel it. We still have that imposter syndrome, going back
Yeah.
to that, where we
Yeah.
just feel like, are you talking about me or
Yeah.
you talking about someone else?
Yeah. Yeah. So, Imran, your TED Talk, Leaders of Tomorrow, put you alongside Simon Sinek and Bill Gates. What's the one leadership principle that separates those who inspire from those who simply manage?
Trust. Leadership's trust. You have to trust your leader. So it goes back to even the household. It's like there's a reason why you look to your mother or your father, because you trust them. Could be with a problem, with something transactional. trust in terms of having a problem and going to them or whatever. And it's the same in business. So you have to trust your leader. Even with politics at the minute, we're all over the place with it. We're like, who do we trust now? Who's the leader that's gonna save us from the hellfire and the rest of it? And we haven't really got that. So I think it's about developing that trust, and that comes from time. So it comes from maturity, experience, and knowing that someone does care about you. And that's leadership. It doesn't have to be forms of being a politician, but it is having that person in your family or your friends or whatever. And you just feel like if I've got a problem, they're going to fix it. Or I'm going to go to them and talk to them, and it's not going to spread like wildfire, and they're going to give me the best advice possible because I trust their advice and I trust them. And yeah, so I always say leadership is trust. And I know many people have many different analogies of what leadership is to them, but to me, I think that's what it comes down to. Even with myself, my team are very talented, but I can tell that if there's anything that needs to be resolved, like in terms of to a next level, it always comes down to me, and they always trust my judgment. And 9 out of 10 times they say I'm right. And it's the same in all walks of life for me. People come to me with anything. Even I've had politicians, celebrities, influencers, and the rest of it come to me asking me for advice because they know it won't go anywhere. And they'll just ask me, and I'll give them the best advice possible.
I love that. So your team, so you're the leader, and they come to you with a problem, and they know that you're going to give them the best advice. What I find in some companies is if the leader's not approachable, you've got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
What would you say to a founder who's listening now? And sometimes it's, say it's a woman who hasn't started her business yet because her mother-in-law or her parents or her husband just haven't got the belief in her, so she starts self-doubting herself. So she hasn't got a leader to go and talk to. What would you say to them?
She's working at the minute, or she's starting her own journey?
She might be a mum at home, stay-at-home
Okay.
mum. She might be in a corporate job,
Yeah.
but she's got this idea, this passionate thing that she wants to start, and she just hasn't got anyone to talk to.
Using the family element, I'd say she has to have a supportive partner, but I'm not telling someone to go and get divorced or split up their husband. I'm just saying I'd talk to the partner, because you need to make sure that your family's pulling in the same direction, especially that household example.
Yeah.
And if they're not supportive, then you have to have a few words, I think, because again, you don't want to waste time. If you feel like you're wasting your days and your energy into something that's not making you happy and is draining you, then you have to just go for it. And I'm sure if the person loves you and cares about you, they'll support you, because why would you be together? As cold as it sounds.
Yeah, I know, because I get a lot of people who listen to this,
Yeah.
to Founder in the Chair, and they'll be like, I really want to start a business, but I know my husband's just going to go mad if I leave work, or my mother-in-law's going to be like, what the hell are you doing? So they just sit on their ideas, and sometimes they'll hear somebody here and be like, gosh, she's like me, and she started it, she did it. So I find that sometimes just listen to a stranger, and you're just like, but you know what, she did it. Maybe I can try it too.
The problem is, I think divorce rates are going to go up now, aren't they? And it'll come down to this.
Yeah, do you know what? I want to start my business, and that's it. You're not letting me, so yeah, getting divorced.
But again, going back to that, it is apart from that element, but also from the individual's element, it's about finding that happiness, because everyone has something inside of them that they really enjoy. Like me, I love serving people. I love helping. Like I've always loved helping people, and that for me is more than money.
When did that start? When did, like, your youngest memory of helping people?
Always, like, it goes back to my family, because my family always came to me. I don't say it in a bad way, but I always say, like, we had a lot of men in the family, but they just looked after themselves. But with me, for whatever reason, my grandparents, my aunties, uncles, whatever, they always just came to me because they knew I'd do it. And it's not, I don't think it was more of a case of them using me. I think it was just because they knew I'd do it, and there wouldn't be a no.
It's trust. They trusted that you would do it.
Yeah, and it's still the same now. Like, even with Friends and family still continued, and as the community's grown, and even my followers, they just know that they can rely on me. And that's why I think when people have seen me turn down offers, etc., they know that it's because you can't sway him, you can't buy him, because he's in a different mindset. I've got I believe personally, like when people, dare I say, put me on a bit of a pedestal, I always say I'm just doing what your grandfather would have done, that having that mindset. But
Mm.
I think the problem with society today is we're losing that sense of responsibility. People don't
Mm.
want it. They just want to look after themselves, and they don't want to take other people's problems on. But with me, yeah, they, even the clients, when they have personal issues, they will come and talk to me. And sometimes it's just more a case I'll just listen, and I think they like that because they know I'm going to absorb it and give them the best solution to it all.
Mm.
So
What I always believe is if someone has got a personal issue, it's going to affect their work. So if you can
yeah,
help
yeah,
with that, the business will do better or they'll
yeah,
perform better. People underrate, like with my team in my business, I talk to my staff. Are you okay? What, everyone comes to work for money, right? But really, what's that money going to buy them? So, like, one of my members of staff would be like, so I want to take my husband away for his 40th next year. So I'll be like, right, so how far are we off the target for you to book
yeah,
that holiday you want for your husband's 40th? And it's not about earning the money, it's about what she's going to get with that money. And it's her dream to do that.
yeah,
And it's just getting to know them. So it's,
yeah. And I think that was is in that life, isn't it?
mm,
Understanding another human, because we're all the same.
mm,
Um, and I think going life has sometimes desensitized us to caring about another human being. Like even my staff, they're I always say they're madly in love with me because I care about them, and they know I care about them,
mm,
because we're a team. There's
mm,
no me and them. If there's anything that needs to be communicated, I will communicate, even with my clients. I think that's what, the personal touch you can't put money on, and that
mm,
goes for everything. And that's why I think communication and understanding the next person is very important, because then you can see it from their side.
mm,
That's why I watch a lot of far right stuff, and as you know from my social media, a lot of political stuff, because I
mm,
like to understand all angles,
mm,
because then I can assess it and make judgment. But also it educates me. It's educating even if someone's got a different opinion to myself.
mm,
But I'll take it on board and listen, and it only enhances me.
mm. I love that. So if you've grown Tape UK without outside investment or partners, in a world obsessed with venture capital, why did you choose the harder path of organic growth?
Because when I started, I thought it was just going to be me for a few years. I didn't expect it to grow and grow and grow. But the beauty of doing a great job is people refer you. So
Mm,
all of a sudden, we just got into a position where it just started spreading nationwide. And now we have clients everywhere, which is amazing. And I even go and see them. So physically, I'll go and sit with them, have a cup of tea, get to know them, understand their personal life. Because
mm,
to understand the personal life is very important to understand the business, because you need to understand what they want to achieve from it all.
mm,
It's all well and good saying you want to have a business that makes money, but why? What's the purpose behind it? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to get married? Do you want to go on holiday? Is there this purpose for the next 12 months that you want to achieve?
mm,
And with that, it's made me develop those connections and relationships, so much so that when they get married or they have children, they invite me. When they just want to have a chat, they'll have a chat,
mm,
and they know I'm there for them, and I'm going to be there to take their problems away if possible. I always try my best. So why I haven't brought anyone else in apart from, of course, my team, but in terms of ownership, is because I just feel that I'm strong enough to control it all. I'm more experienced, more mature as the days go on, and I just feel like I haven't found anyone who's shown interest in investing in us that's good for us.
mm,
Because when I went into business as well, like I wanted to make sure I lived and died by it. So I didn't mind talking about diversity, racism, politics, because I was just like, that's who I am. If I
mm,
feel there's an injustice in the world and I think it's wrong, I'm going to talk about it. And I don't really care about other people's opinions. So if they come to me and say you're wrong, or this, that, and the other. It's what I believe in my heart, so I'm always going to come out of it.
Mm.
So we saw growth, but I saw like I felt like at the start people were just thinking to themselves, especially people that knew me, like I was crazy. I've just left the world paid job. I've started tape, and he's just going crazy with it all.
Mm.
But I wanted to reflect my values into the business, but also you look at Apple, Nike, and the big businesses, say, and you always have a bit of a judgment on them. You're like, why don't they do this? Why don't they do that?
Mm.
Instead, it's just money, money, money.
Mm.
So that's why, even though we're not to that level, we give to charity. We make sure communities are looked after. We make sure our staff are well paid. We make sure everything's good, because that's what it should be. That's my business and that's who I am. And I want to
Mm.
make sure it's the best business in the entire world, not in terms of the income, but the way people feel,
Mm.
from the clients to the staff to how I feel. It starts from me, doesn't it? And it filters down. So I have
Mm.
to make sure that everything's perfect. And even like with responses and how we do the work, people always get more, and they always, that's why they never leave us. They never leave us, because they love it, because they know they're getting quality for an affordable price, and also they know that there's passion and values there. You're not just giving your money over,
Mm.
and you feel like it's, yeah, you're getting your service completed, but it's like dead money in some ways. You may be funding a lifestyle that you're not really too happy with, or you might be funding a business that's doing some dirty stuff. But at
Mm.
least you know with us that overheads are going to be covered, but the rest of the money is going to go to charity, because that's me, that's my values. I want to make sure that people are looked after,
Mm.
and where I can help, I want to help.
Someone listening right now, can you just explain what Tape UK does?
Yeah, so we're a platform for small businesses. So all in all, what we do is we do everything. So example being is you could open a coffee shop,
Mm-hmm.
or you could have an idea of a coffee shop, and we will potentially design your logo, do your branding, do your accounting, do your website, anything you require basically. So the model is basically like you just pick and choose what you need, and we'll do it for you. Yeah. So it's a simple concept, but no one else created it, and that's what gave me a platform as well.
Okay.
So it's all in house. So like the likes of Fiverr, etc. They're going to be freelancers that will could be hit and miss,
Mm.
but with us, it's all in house. The whole team's there, and they're all UK based, and they'll do the work to a high standard, and all the staff are of quality, which is amazing, because I wanted it to be like that. I wanted it
Mm.
to be, it saves time, and you also, with that, you can deliver a quality product rather than taking a risk, because again, I'm very appreciative of people's money.
Mm.
It's all well and good you pay X amount,
Mm.
but and then it could go wrong. But at least with us, you know, you're gonna, it's like a safe bet basically. And that's why it's grown and grown and grown, again, just through referrals and growth and people talking about us.
I love that. So if someone's listening right now, they're a founder or want to be a founder, they can contact you. You
Yeah, yeah,
can
of
hold
course,
their
yeah, yeah.
hand through that process. And why did you name it Tape?
I don't know.
Okay. I just
Yeah,
wondered.
yeah, yeah.
I was driving this morning. I was like, I
Yeah,
wonder
yeah,
why
yeah,
he
yeah,
called it
yeah, yeah,
Tape.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I always get asked that question. I wanted it to be really short. So I had a few names, but I wanted it to be, again, looking at the likes of Apple, Nike, and so on,
Mm.
Twix, etc. You can
Yeah.
just look at all the names and they're very short. So I wanted it to be really short. So yeah, I just went with that.
Okay.
I know
Okay.
it's a that's the one question I always
Every-
dread. You can ask me anything, honestly,
yeah.
but when people ask me that, I'm like, I haven't even prepared an answer for this.
That's okay. There isn't an answer. It just happened.
Well, people pull it together. They're like, maybe you're like fixing things because sellotape fix things
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But I said the problem is if it gets wet, it's going to come undone, isn't it? So I'd like to think we're a bit more secure than tape. But yeah,
Okay. Okay. So, Imran, as someone who started with nothing, how do you deal with imposter syndrome when sharing stages with billionaires and global icons?
I still can't really talk about myself. So I rather talk about what I can do and how I can potentially inspire or motivate someone. So when I do many talks, especially with the stage with these types of people,
Mm.
they will just talk about how amazing they are, how they're successful, how you need to do it this way, you need to do it this way, and so on and so on and so on. But they don't understand that we all come from different backgrounds and
Mm.
walk in different shoes. So it was good for them, but it might not be good for you. And that's why I always say to people, I'll give advice and I'll give my best advice always. But ultimately, it's up to you and your life and your decisions to what you do with it.
Mm.
So I might not understand that you might be going through a bad time, but I could be like, well, why is this person not doing it? But they'll have reasons as to why they're not doing it.
Mm.
And it could be personal issues or whatever. But with these types of billionaires, etc., and people that want to sell these courses and so on and so on, I always just say take it with a pinch of salt because they haven't come through the life you've come through. Like with
Mm.
me, no one's going to have my life. Like I've had challenge after challenge after challenge, and I appreciate that for 365 days it will never be perfect. But I'm appreciative of that, and I
Mm.
welcome the challenge because I know the challenge is something that's going to make me gain more experience and maturity. And then with that, in a year or two, I might have that challenge again, and it's nothing.
Mm.
So I'm someone who's a bit crazy where I welcome the pain because it does elevate you. Because if you have a good life, unfortunately, you're not going to learn much. You'll
Mm.
just learn all the sweet stuff. But when the first hurdle comes, you're going to collapse because it's very difficult. And that could come from having a good 40, 50 years, but and then you lose a parent and
Mm.
you find it very hard to recover from. But if you lose people early on, like I have, I've lost so many friends and family members, and you've seen them get buried, and it's just like a reminder. You're just like, so this is it.
Mm.
But and then at a funeral, you learn a lot because you see the way people talk about that person, and sometimes it's more powerful than any CV. So a billionaire could come with this massive CV saying they won all these accolades, they
Mm.
have all these titles, all this money. But the reality is that when people die, they'll just forget them like that. And they'll forget
Mm.
us as well. But
Yeah.
there'll be some legacy there. They'll talk about that person, whether they were really kind, they did this, they did that.
Mm.
And I think that's what we work towards. Well, that's what I'm working towards anyway. And I never really go on a stage to talk about my achievements because the reality is that like my work's there, but at the same time it's not who I am as well because there's more depths to myself. Like for
Mm.
me, it is creating leadership that I want to see, seeing good in the world. Like sometimes people say to me like, "Why are you so nice to me?" And I'm like, "Well, you're human like me. God's created all of us,
Mm.
so shouldn't we be kind to one another?
Mm.
We've all come the same way into the world."
And we're going to go the same way. It's like
Exactly.
what you said as soon as I met you. Now you're my friend. You can
Yeah, yeah,
contact
yeah,
me anytime.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, that's so nice.
Yeah, but I think that isn't that humanity?
Absolutely.
It is about it
Absolutely.
because years ago, before money, they used to trade skills, and then
Mm.
money came into it. I would say money's the devil. It will break relationships, families.
Oh, yes.
It's just it's such a horrible thing to chase. And you see people in this day and age, it's like, I want to be rich, I want to get this, but then you think to yourself like, and then what? What are you going to do
Mm.
with it? Oh well, my kids won't have to work again. But what's this? What are you teaching your children then? What are you
Yeah.
teaching the people around you that
Yes.
they want to win? Because I think the mentality's changed in 2025 where people just want to win, but they don't care how they win.
Mm.
And I think that's where we need to fix it. We need to win in style, but also being good. Because there's laws in place, but some people they'll break laws because they just want to win. They just want to get what they want to get,
Mm.
and they think that's like really um, respected or like it's very motivational. It's not. I don't
Mm.
think it is. I
Mm.
think you should win fairly,
Mm.
so much so that you feel proud because of your win, rather than doing dirty stuff just to get to that podium, and all of a sudden you've just damaged your soul along the way. You've wrecked relationships. You've probably not fallen in love. You've probably not started a family. You've probably just become very lonely and damaged. And what's the point? What's the point? And then when you die, what do you have? Nothing. You
You're
leave
not,
it all.
yeah, you're not taking anything with you. Thank you. If someone's listening, because you said you left a well-paid job and took the plunge and came up with Tape UK, what tip would you give them to believe in themselves that they can do it. Like, because not everyone can do that.
It's just measuring your time. Like you have to measure your time through experiences. So again, I go back to happiness, losing a loved one and losing people around you and seeing how you want to spend the rest of your days because you don't want to waste your time. And it's not more of a case of saying everyone should be a business owner, not at
Mm.
all. Sometimes you go to your local Tesco and you see a happy woman on the till
Mm.
and she's looking forward to a holiday, she's working part-time.
Mm.
She's great. She's a billionaire,
Yeah.
but she might not have the income to back it up, but she's happy.
Yeah.
And then you see some people that are earning over 100K and they're just grey. They look damaged, they're drinking all the time, they're taking drugs to numb themselves because they're doing what's meant to be good, but it's not good for the inside.
Mm.
So it's just about finding purpose and happiness. And that's what it comes down to. It's a simple moments, isn't it? Like even
Mm.
just sitting, like we're friends now, we're sitting here talking and it's nice.
Mm.
But sometimes it's just finding what makes you happy and going for it and yeah, making those memories because that's what life is, isn't it? You remember the good times, you remember the bad times as well, but it's all part of the journey and all part of the learning.
Mm.
So I feel that yeah, just go for it because even if you fail, you pick yourself up the next day, you go again the following day.
Mm. It's all a learn.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.